First time since 2 weeks. Destroyed.
Beirut, the Mar Michael neighborhood, 2 weeks after the explosion. For years, Nero was a bartender here. His entire life concentrated on these streets, symbols of the Lebanese capital's vibrant nightlife.
I'm seeing old places where I used to work, or I used to come and drink with my friends, all destroyed. So it hurts, you know? It hurts.
Nero was injured in the explosion, and many of his friends are still missing.
Closed.
The local greengrocer is still here. Originally from Armenia, Siham has long been a pillar to the community. Her shop open night and day. She's a mother figure to the neighborhood's young revelers.
Were you injured in the explosion?
Yes. I was bleeding for more than 4 hours. It'll take another 40 days for me to recover.
Be careful. Take care of yourself.
Nero couldn't bring himself to tell her the bad news.
Well, I didn't want to break her heart. She's a sweetheart. I don't want to make her sad. But eventually she'll find out through my friends, through people around here, that we're leaving the country.
Desperate to keep the painful memory in the past, Nero will leave everything he's known behind to start over elsewhere. So begins his giant leap into the unknown. Yumna, by contrast, has decided to stay.
Go towards the gas station over there.
Oh, I know where it is.
Go directly there.
Like many volunteers in Beirut, and in the total absence of government support, the 26-year-old offers door-to-door assistance to victims of the explosion.
Do you need help with your furniture or anything else?
This couch is broken, as you can see. A bit like everything else in my home.
Do you live alone here?
Yes, I'm by myself.
In a brief moment of respite from the chaos, Cosette takes comfort in past pleasures. But the dire need for help doesn't stop there. Yumna knows all too well just how multidimensional this crisis is.
Do you want mortadella? Okay, let's go to the store.
Hundreds of Syrian children survive by begging in the streets of Beirut. Since the collapse of the Lebanese pound in January, food is often unaffordable.
How much is this? 29,000?
31,000 in all.
How much is the mortadella?
12,000.
12,000? It's really expensive.
Yumna's generosity is well known in the neighborhood. Another Syrian child quickly catches up with her.
I'll give you a bottle of water and that's all. There are people over there who are hungry too. They're homeless and without their families. Are you listening to me? Listen to me. Look, they're all alone. Make yourself useful. Go give them water.
These Kenyan women have been camping outside their consulate for several days. They only have one option left: to leave the country at any cost. 500,000 foreign domestic workers chosen in catalogs live in Lebanon. Tens of thousands of them are now out of work.
We ask the government of Kenya, to ban any Kenyan to enter in Lebanon. They are suffering, and they are suffering in their madam house and suffering from our consulate.
We don't need the explosion to know this kind of problem in Lebanon. We had this from before.
They're just one subset of post-explosion suffering in Lebanon, a crisis within a crisis with no end in sight. Mohammed draws a similar conclusion. Lebanon is stuck in a spiral of despair with little prospect for change. Mohammed was born into a well-respected Shiite family. He takes us to his home in the Shia heartland of southern Lebanon. Hezbollah controls the region, a state within a state, under the influence of Iran. In criticizing the self-proclaimed Party of God, he is conscious of the enormous risk he takes.
These guys don't do anything. They keep people impoverished, so they're easier to manipulate. I see myself as a child of Lebanon. The south, north, east, and west, for me, that's Lebanon. But do they see things like that? I don't think so. There's so much poverty. If you're from the south, you should help the south bounce back and make progress instead of staying stuck in the past. We're still talking about wars that ended 20, 25 years ago. We need to look to the future. Look, just ahead, there's one of the region's only hotels. It closed 2 months after opening. Who would want a vacation here? Nobody. It's not appealing. It feels like we're in a general state of alert all year long. Lower the camera. There's guys there, the flag on their car.
Southern Lebanon is among the country's poorest and most closed-off regions. This is the Beaufort Castle, a relic of the battle between the Crusaders and the Sunni Ayyubid dynasty. But the remains of its outer walls now overlook Lebanon's modern-day enemy, Israel. An Israeli helicopter just crossed into Lebanese territory.
It's unbelievable that they violate a country's airspace like that with total impunity. No problem. Everything's okay. We ever have to confront the enemy in order to be strong. We have to be eating properly. How are you going to fight a war if you're hungry? That's what they don't understand. They're always talking about war and resistance, but how can you fight if your stomach is empty?
Mohammed's mother lives in Nabateeh, one of Hezbollah's historic strongholds. The Israeli army occupied her home for more than 15 years. Mohammed was injured twice this year, each time as a frontline participant in the Thara, the pro-democracy uprising in Lebanon that started in October of 2019. His mother is worried.
Let me tell you something. The only Lebanese mother who is happy is one whose son leaves Lebanon. When her son goes far away, travels, she's happy to say he found something else elsewhere. We're the only mothers in the world to think this way. I don't know if there are any other mothers who would want their sons to go far away from them.
But for Mohammed, leaving is out of the question. The battle must be fought here in Lebanon.
Oh, superiority do not exist. Those invention one from your one, you won't get the majority. Because we know your intention of corruption in our poor Lebanon. Now you won't get no redemption, and now we screw.
Yumna too attended all of the demonstrations from the very start of the revolution. Like so many others, she sees the protest movement as a turning point.
Since October, it turns out only a minority of young people are truly apolitical. You could really tell that many political parties were exploiting the revolution, which automatically turned me off to being a part of it. I don't know if that's a good thing or not.
The onset of a new era in Beirut, a deserted city, under lockdown, with entire neighborhoods in mourning. Daily life is increasingly difficult. Nero, the former barman, and his girlfriend Sarah are preparing to leave their apartment in eastern Beirut.
It is an adventure to wake up in Beirut every day, every morning. Because you have to put up with the things happening in Beirut. From revolutions to traffic to road rage.
Nero will soon leave for Armenia, the country of his ancestors. Though he's never been, he hopes to obtain Armenian citizenship. Sarah will stay in Beirut, though their dream is to eventually be together again in France.
We're seeing that long-term planning, visualizing yourself in the future is really compromised.
Start something abroad for our future or for us.
It's better to sacrifice 1-2 years now than sacrifice 10-15 years and not sure that the country will allow us to actually build something if we want to.
More than 50,000 young Lebanese citizens made the choice to leave the country in recent months. The explosion on August 4th only amplified the exodus. In Beirut, light again illuminates the night sky as electricity slowly returns to some parts of the capital. But Mar Michel, the neighborhood once known for its bars and parties, remains a shadow of its former self. Mohammed and Nero met here many years ago, a time when Mohammed played his music with Nero behind the bar.
They stole 1 billion%. So there any politicians who stole. We're tired of dying and being reborn. We're tired. We just want to live. We don't want to die and being reborn. People say Beirut is like a phoenix. We're tired of being a phoenix. We want to be we want to live. That's as simple as that. Half of us are gonna live, and the other half is gonna fight. That's how I see it. Maybe it's a hopeless fight, but it's worth it. It's worth the fight.
It was worth the fight.
You think?
Yeah.
I can't blame you for saying that, bro.
It was, man.
Maybe 1 year ago I would have blamed you and no, don't give up and now. But now I can't blame you.
After all that's happened and what happened recently, if we had the will to fight, it is now gone. And those who are left to fight, they are being oppressed.
Yeah.
And treated like animals.
Animals are treated
maybe they are treated better.
Sarah, Mohammed, Nero, and Yumna were all a part of the revolution in October of 2019, the unprecedented popular uprising hoping to transform Lebanon. But as time passes, the crisis deepens, to the apparent indifference of the political class, as the country's once tirelessly hopeful youth loses steam.
If you wanna fly, I'll make you fly, yeah.